Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. And if you're coming here for the first time, I would urge that you become a subscriber because we come up with a lot of features on genomic companies, and we also have a daily update for genomics. So that said, today's topic is going to be Allogene. I want to profile this company because in the last few days, I have noticed that the share price has been ticking up. So I wanted to investigate a bit deeper. And then I realized that we have not done a profile on this company. So this video is going to be a profile on Allogene. Let's get started. Well, let's start with the name of the company. I really admire the fact that the company has taken the name Allogene because it becomes a brand category in itself. Just like when you say Colgate, it means a toothpaste. So there is some effect like that in my mind when I look at the name Allogene. So that would mean all allogenic medicines. So now coming to the name of this company, Allogene, the name indicates that this company deals with allogenic therapies. And as we have seen in the past, just as a refresher, if you already know that, please excuse, just hold on for the people who may be new to the channel. Allogenic basically means creating an allogenic therapy using donor cells, modifying them and making it available for any patient. Whereas the opposite of that is autologous. In autologous therapy, you take the blood or the cells from the patient, modify that and reinsert it back into the patient's body for the therapy to take effect. Now, the advantages of an allogenic approach is that you can manufacture and keep the therapy readily available so that it can be taken off the shelf. So the time lag between demand for the therapy and delivery of the therapy is minimum. That is a major advantage, especially because patient outcomes will improve when the therapy is given as soon as possible. The more it is delayed, the patient becomes weaker and the patient outcome can be compromised a little bit. So to avoid that, the allogenic approach is much better. The other advantage for an allogenic approach is that allogenic therapy can be dispensed using the same or more or less the same business model that is currently used by big pharma for delivering molecules and other contemporary drugs and injections and vaccines. So that's another major advantage. Whereas if you look at the autologous approach, you need to have special infrastructure in place to go to the patient and extract the cells and then go through the special process of modifying and sending it back. And all those attendant problems are there. However, the place where the autogenic approach succeeds is that it has got very less immune challenges. So graft versus host disease or rejection of the therapy is it's not existent as such because it's the patient's own cell. Whereas when you look at an allogenic approach for a therapy, the cells being put into the body of the patient do not belong to the patient. They are coming from a healthy donor. And therefore, the tendency of the body to reject the cells is much higher. And therefore, immunosuppressants will be needed. And these days, what we have as immunosuppressants are mostly chemical and radiation agents, which further compromise the outcome for the patient because these immunosuppressants have their own drawbacks. However, it seems that Allogene has been able to come up with a method for minimizing the GVHD, that is graft versus host disease or rejection rates to keep it very low. We'll see all those things as we go and look further into this company. But I wanted to give you a very clear sense of the advantages and disadvantages of allogenic versus autologous. One of the other disadvantages for the autologous therapy is that the patient is weak and the cells from the patient would be weak. Therefore, the therapy would also be weak. Whereas with the allogenic therapy approach, the healthy donor cells are going to be fully potent when they're introduced into the body of the patient. So that said, let's look at what this company has been doing and where they have approached. So I would like to start off by first going to the website of the company. So here we are at the website of Allogene. And we are on the About Us page, which is where I'd like to start with most of the companies that we review. The tagline here is pursuing a potentially transformational approach to cancer immunotherapy. And the company describes itself as Allogene Therapeutics is a clinical stage biotechnology company with a single-minded focus on pioneering the development of investigational allogenic chimeric antigen receptor T-cell products for cancer. So when we look at the pipeline for this company, they are focused on blood cancer, they are focused on large tumors. So those are the major focus area for this company. If we look at the management team, we have a fully staffed management team along with the board of directors, with scientific advisors. So the full complement of the structure is there. The governance is in place. And if we look at the executive chairman and co-founder of Allogene, it is Ari Beltran, MD, is the executive chairman and co-founder of Allogene. He founded Kite Pharma, a biopharmaceutical company engaged in the development of innovative cancer immunotherapies, where he served as chairman, president, and chief executive officer until the acquisition of Kite by Gilead Sciences in October 2017. Ari has had a distinguished tenure in life sciences, having been closely involved with the founding and advancement of several successful biopharmaceutical companies, including Cougar Biotechnology and agencies. So basically we have a very experienced techno-entrepreneur out here, and the fact that his company Kite was acquired by Gilead Biosciences in October 2017 indicates the ability of this management team to deliver in terms of taking the company to the next level by having successful products and also being able to monetize it and get it into a position where the company is worth being taken over or acquired by a big pharma. And again, in this case, this company could grow in its own merit and continue to be an independent entity. Further, it also says that he is on the board of Ginkgo Bioworks. It's another company that we have in our watch list that we keep looking at on a daily basis with our daily updates. So the pedigree of this company seems to be pretty good. Now let us look at their pipeline. Their pipeline consists of many candidates, out of which 1, 2, and 3 are in advanced phase 1 clinical trial. The first 2, which are in advanced phase 1 clinical trial, are Alpha 2 Allo501A and Allo501, and both of these were recently in the news. I'll talk about that when we go to the press release section. And the good news about these two therapies is what is pushing the stock prices up, in my opinion. So we'll talk about that. And then we have 3 candidates which are in phase 1 clinical trial in the early stages. One is Allo715, other is Allo715 plus MM, and the final one is Allo605. These are all BCMA, B cell maturation agents, and they all target hematological malignancies. And then we have the other candidate which is in advanced phase 1 clinical trial, that is a lymphodepletion agent, Allo647, which is an anti-CD52 agent. So these are the pipeline items, and we can see that just like CRISPR Therapeutics, we have got a whole lot of pipeline items here. So I like a rich pipeline because you have many possibilities of getting FDA approval or BLA and continuing to monetize, and out of which 3 are already in phase 1, advanced phase 1 trials. So I'm very impressed with that. Now let us go and have a look at the news center, where I'll show you the press release I was talking about, because that's what brought me in here for the first time to look at the company. So it says, Allogene Therapeutics announces the FDA granted regenerative medicine advanced therapy designation to Allo501A for large B-cell lymphoma. And this news actually has set up the setup for the company to move rapidly. So we got this news on 8th of June, and you can see the share has started reacting 6, 7, 8 immediately on 8th of June. So this is the This is the candle for 7th. So some people probably had some premonition that this is going to happen, especially people who are following the industry very, very closely and the company very closely would definitely have had a feeling that it's going to happen. So it went up. Of course, when the market fell, it also had to fall, but it has since been going up. And right now today, it's targeting this resistance of 11.98 and it's in an overbought state. And also MACD is very, very bullish. So overall, it has reached a level of attracting our attention, and that's why we are here today. So going back to this press release, it says RMAT designation follows positive data for Allo501A alpha-2 trial in heavily pretreated patients with relapsed or refractory large B-cell lymphoma, LBCL. Data presented at the American Society of Hematology ASH 2021 annual meeting demonstrated Allo CAR-T could be safe and effective in producing durable responses. So they have demonstrated the capability of their therapy. In alpha trials with Allo501 and 501A, treatment was initiated approximately 2 days from enrollment, eliminating any need for bridging therapy. Company intends to initiate a phase 2 pivotal trial in mid-2022. So we are already there in mid-2022. So anytime now we should have the phase 2 starting. I really like the pace at which this company is progressing. It is not waiting. It's just going ahead and finishing off each step of its innovation and research. Rather than waiting for anything. There are some companies in our watch list, that have been in the same status for various of their pipeline items and not made any progress. So considering all those things, I think the management is very active out here and things are progressing much faster. So the other points I can see here, other key points are that Allo501A was associated with consistent and manageable safety with no dose-limiting toxicities or graft versus host disease and minimal grade 3 in immune effector cell-associated neurotoxicity syndrome or grade 3 cytokine release syndrome. There were no relapses observed in LBCL CAR-T naive patients who were in a complete response at 6 months with the longest ongoing CRs with Allo501A at 15 plus months. Nearly all enrolled patients were able to receive therapy with median time from enrollment to initiation of treatment of 2 days in Alpha-2. So these things make these findings and these publications make it a very valuable therapy because it's at a very advanced stage and most likely to go through FDA clearance. They have advanced sufficiently to reduce the investor's risk, in my opinion. And if we were to look at the target of this particular therapy, it is relapsed or refractory large B-cell lymphoma, LBCL. It should be noted that CRISPR Therapeutics CTX110 is equivalent to Allo501A and is also allogenic. And CTX120 does the BCMA portion, so it is equivalent to one of the candidates out here. Of course, I'll have to do more digging to find out which one it is. But we have in CRISPR Therapeutics, we have CTX120, which is an allogenic CRISPR-Cas9 gene-edited CAR-T cell therapy targeting BCMA in development and treatment of multiple myeloma. And here we have the BCMA category, and we are talking about multiple myeloma, and IGNITE study using first TurboCAR to target BCMA. So I think that for this company, for Allogene, there is competition in these areas. The fact that they have reached here is pretty good. But again, they need to come out with the therapy fast and get an approval from FDA. And the early bird gets the advantage, and everyone coming subsequently will have to do some kind of competition with the pricing. That is my opinion as an investor. So there is a competition out there. I also think that there could be competition from Immatics, because Immatics has a whole suite of anti-cancer therapies that they are working on. So there is going to be a bit of competition, but hopefully Allogene is able to be ahead of the pack. So let's look a little bit at the financial stability of Allogene. Again, these are my personal opinions and not financial advice. Allogene seems to have a cash burn of around 86 million euros per year. And last, when they reported, they had a cash balance of around 173 million euros. And therefore, based on that, it can be estimated that probably their cash runway extends all the way up to the last quarter of 2023. Which means that they need to have at least one of their lead therapies approved by FDA well before that, maybe somewhere in the beginning of 2023 or maybe by mid 2023, so that they would be in a good position. Because as we know, we have a tight monetary condition, and things are going to get tighter in the next 6 to 7 months. So obtaining finance is going to be difficult. Fortunately for this company, the company has no debts, and the positive data from their lead therapy seems to be pretty good, and that should help the company attracting some prospective rounds of financing if necessary. But there are instances where companies have progressed the therapy all the way up to the final stages of FDA approval, got the approval, and then they've not been able to go ahead with launching the product for some reason or the other. So we should not rule out those possibilities as prudent investors. We should just keep that as, a potential risk that applies to all companies, not just Allogene, but for every company that has got candidates in the FDA pipeline for approval. The real magic for the investor will be that they buy it at these prices, which are very low right now, and hold on, and 2 years down the line, if they see an FDA approval for one of the projects, then I suppose that 4 years down the line, there would be break even for the company. And we all know how pharma companies with revenue streams perform in the stock market. They do exceedingly well. So I think good things are in store for Allogene. It's just a matter of going through the next 2 years and getting the first FDA approval in place, and everything else should fall into place really, really nicely. So with that said, I would like us to go and have a look at their price chart and see what this share has been doing in the recent past and where it's likely to go next. Here we have the chart for Allogene, and as you can recollect, in the past we have done technical analysis on this share in our daily updates. And we have a line of support at the bottom, which is this green line. And we have a line of resistance on the top, which is this red line. And together they form the bear channel in which we have been moving for a while. And you would see that after we had the positive results for the lead candidate, we have seen an uptick, and we have gone past the resistances that we had before, which now become support. And these are two supports we have out here, and our next resistance has to be 11.98, but we are already on 12.21, so we have crossed this resistance also. So I'm going to mark this as a support, and then if we expand this, each of these candles is a one-day candle out here. We can see that we are heading for this diagonal line of resistance, and we are likely to get a pushback from there, come down and hit this support, and then go up. That is my prediction. And one of the reasons why we're going to come back down from this resistance is because we are seeing that the momentum is in the RSI is in the overbought position, and MACD is absolutely bullish. So it has moved very, very fast. So it needs to consolidate a little bit before going up. Typically on upward moving channels, if you have a flag pattern or if you have a triangle pattern, you always break out of it and move upwards. So that is in store, in my opinion, for Allogene. It's showing a lot of strength on the charts. And if we were to zoom out and then take a measuring widget and compare how much it has dropped from the peak to right now. So we are right now at 12.22. So I'm going to go all the way down to 12.22. And we have dropped around 78% from the peak for this share. And since then, which was in June, 18th of June 2020, since then 2 years have elapsed, and during those 2 years there have been all these developments where we have progressed many of these candidates, 3 candidates into the advanced phase 1 clinical trial, on the verge of getting towards an FDA approval. So there has been a lot of improvements and development of intellectual property, and we should not forget that. And I think overall, I'm very happy with the way this company looks in the charts. We have a 200-day exponential moving average, which is this white line out here, which is moving closely along with the diagonal line of support, and it comes out up here. So the 200-day exponential moving average is sitting at 13.39. 13.39 is a is the level at which we'll get another resistance. So we have got 2 immediate resistance out here. Once we break through that, then it should be slightly smoother sailing. However, I'd put a caveat out here, and the caveat is mainly that we are in a very, very difficult market environment. And later on, I'm going to come up with another video where I'm going to talk with you about what is happening in the global financial environment and how it's going to impact all of us in the genomics as well as in NASDAQ, S&P 500, gold, everything. Because that's a much bigger macro picture that we have to look at. We live in the context of the macro picture. We are a microcosm of the macroeconomic structure that we have here. So we can't forget the power of those forces. And therefore, I would caution that even though everything is looking good, until our risks are resolved and global financial issues are resolved, we are going to have a lot of volatility, and sometimes you may consolidate at a higher level and keep on improving. But I wish all these developments for genomic companies had come during a bull market. We'd be laughing to the bank in that case. So with that said, I'd like to bring this video to an end. If you liked this video, please press a like out there. This helps YouTube promote our channel to new viewers, and I would really like that. And we need more subscribers. We need to touch the 1,000 mark now. And therefore, if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe. It is a free subscription, and we have a lot of interesting profiles for various companies, and also daily updates for CRISPR shares, genomic shares, and anything related to genomics. And also overall, we talk about macroeconomic concepts and other things which impact our share prices. So it will be a really nice addition to your portfolio of subscription on YouTube. So with that, I would like to say bye for now, and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. See you later.